Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pits Motorcast. This is your host, Dave. I got a nice special guest from the Midwest Gassers, Greg Stelse. How you doing, Greg?
Yeah, good. Doing very good.
So Greg, the Joker, you drive the Joker. What is that? A Chevy?
Yeah, no, it's a '57 Pontiac. I have a 434 small block Chevy in it, though. Lenco training.
Now, how did you join up with the Midwest Gassers?
Well, I'm actually part of the Brew City Gassers. But I'm in the Midwest here. But the Brew City Gassers is the group that I'm with. They ended up making that club about 2 years ago. The main racing that they do is out of Union Grove there.
Yeah, you're the Midwest, the Brew City Gassers out of Wisconsin. I know they used to have the Midwest Gassers run at Great Track, then the Brew City Gassers started running there.
Yeah, so the Brew City Gassers is actually the group that I'm involved in.
Yeah, I know you guys ran there last year.
Yes.
So how did you meet up with the Brew City Gassers?
A couple of years ago, they called me and asked me if I wanted to join. I raced a couple of races down at the Meltdown Drags, and they wanted to start this new group, and I decided to join, and it's been great ever since then.
So how did the car run for you last year, or this year? I mean,
well, it had a little bit of issues with it. 2 years ago, I had having a lot of issues with the tranny, so I ended up going to a Lenco, and the Lenco was very good for me the following year. And then this year, when I came out with it, I had a lot of issues with it. I ended up busting the spray gear that's in it, and I'm going back and forth with Lenco for a while to finally get it fixed. Ran a couple runs, but we weren't full kilt into the racing this year. We have a very huge race shop in Waupaca, Wisconsin here, and we actually just did land a TV show, so we've been really focused on that. But this coming year, we're going to be full kilt in running the Joker. That's probably going to be part of some of the stuff that's going to get filmed here this year. So the racing this year is going to be hardcore.
so now what made you name the car the Joker?
I found that car about 7 years ago in a barn in Missouri. That's exactly the way that car looked when I got it. The car was originally built. Who put the Joker on it was a guy named Dan Smith. I forget how many years ago he did that, but he actually found that car next to a barn, and I think it was in southern Illinois where he found it. And that was the original race car from back in the day. But it did not have the Joker on it. He put it on there. But many, many years ago, he put that on there.
So how many events are you looking to run next year?
We'll probably be at, I'll say, between 10 and 15.
Now, how many times you be running at the Grove?
Probably at the Grove. I'll bet you I'll be there probably at least 8 times. Probably at the Grove.
I know
I consider that my home track.
I know you're going to be doing the out of sight drags.
Yes, that's going to be a big event down there. I can't wait for that one. That's a good time there.
No, you'll be running Memorial Day weekend?
Yeah, we're actually, I think that our first race is going to be Memorial Day weekend. I can't remember what that one is. It Nitrous Street Ball or whatever it is for that Memorial Day weekend. We'll be down there though.
Yeah, it's a Memorial Day weekend. I think they just call it the Memorial Day Weekend Classics.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Like, there's so many of them now that it's sometimes hard to remember all of them.
So you guys you'll be running every night your streetcar brawl?
Yeah, I think we're planning on coming down there for that too. I think we're gonna, there's a group of us that we're going to probably bring our cars out when they have that event.
Yeah, I think they do about 5 or 6 of those.
Okay. Yeah, and then the next big one would be
Labor Day weekend.
We're going to be going to Byron in July. That's a big race, and then the end race will be up in Rock Falls for the fallout. So we'll do a lot in between there. But them are my main big races that I like, is because it's only vintage cars there. When we do the out of sight drags and glory days, and then the fallout.
Now you guys will be at the Time Machine Nationals for Labor Day weekend at the Grove too?
Yes, we probably will be there for that. We're waiting for our schedule to get in, just because we got this TV stuff going on with our shop that I got to get all my dates and times and all my stuff figured out before April. So, and I honestly can't give you all the dates right now. We're still working on that because the Grove don't come out with their dates until I think they don't come out until the first week of January.
Now, during the off season, are you looking to do any changes to the car?
Yeah, we're actually gonna because, like I said, with this TV stuff going on, and they're going to be doing some filming of the Joker. That we actually are changing the car up 100%. We're doing a lot of work to it. Not sure if we're going with a different motor yet, but as of right now, we're not. We're changing the rear end, putting a different straight axle in. We're going to do a brand new cage in the car. We're going to try to lighten the car up a little bit. The car does weigh 4,000 pounds. It runs in the 10-second bracket right now. We want to lighten it up a little bit to see if we can do a little better than that.
So what's the fastest pass you made with that car?
10.5, so 10 and a half seconds. I know it's capable of running 10.30s. Right now, the way it is, I've just had a lot of bad luck with it. But we're going to a lot of rear end stuff I've been having problems with. I still have the original 1957 Pontiac rear end in there, and I'm finally gonna put a 4.9 inch in it. I just can't handle it anymore. It just costs a lot of money to keep that original rear end in there.
Now, let me rewind the clock with you and ask you, how did you get into drag racing?
Basically, to be honest with you, the drag race, I always raced like on the street stuff, but to get into drag race and stuff, it was, I went to the second Meltdown event in Byron, Illinois, and I was hook, line, and sinkered, and I had to get a car. I raced stock car modified and dirt late models before that. I raced all over the country, but I was not into the drag racing scene. Now I'm hook, line, and sinkered into the vintage drag racing.
So what year did you start your drag racing?
So be about 7 years ago. So was it 19 now? So 12. And I think our first race we raced at it was at Byron, and it was for the heads up heads up race, the 100. I think it was the heads up race. Our first one we went to.
So what still keeps you passionate about drag racing?
It's just the family oriented. Everybody usually at a racetrack at the drag strip, anyways. Usually everybody's pretty cool, and you get along with everybody, and that's really what keeps me doing it. And I'm addicted to it. Once you drive that car once, you get definitely addicted to it. There's no computer. There's nothing telling it what to do. It's all you as the driver doing it, and that's why I like the vintage racing part of it. Because you could take a guy that brackets race and put him in that vintage car, and it's a whole different ball game. Even though there's a lot of very good bracket racers, I just prefer to do it the way I do it.
Yeah. So now, for you, are there any drag racers that were inspirational to you?
I suppose Big Daddy Don Garlitz. I just actually I got to sit with him at the in Las Vegas at SEMA. I was in the Hall of Fame dinner. I got to sit at his table with him and listen to him and got to meet Steak Perdome too, which was very cool. So I had quite a few hours with them guys. So I had a lot of cool dudes sitting at my table.
Now, did you strike up a conversation with any of these guys?
Oh yeah, definitely. I talked to Big Daddy. Talked to Don quite a few times. I don't so much talk too much about my car. I do a little bit, but it's hard to even bring up my car when you're sitting in a room with them guys.
Right.
I mean, because they could, and Don will tell you stories after stories, and same, Iski was also there, so I got to talk to him, Roger Penske, stuff like that. So it was very cool. It was, like I said, it was a Hall of Fame dinner at SEMA that I got to meet all these guys. In the car world, I got a lot of cool stuff happening, so I'm very fortunate to be able to, rub elbows with these guys right now.
Yeah, that is very cool.
Yeah, I can't even believe it half the time. So, just having a lot of fun.
Yeah, you still have to pinch yourself. Did I really just meet these guys?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. When I was sitting in there, and I got to sit at that table, I was like, are you kidding me? I'm sitting with all these legends, and then listening to them talk, it was very cool. Stories and stuff like that I got to hear, and had a lot of fun with that.
Now, did you get any pictures with these guys?
Oh yeah. If you go to my Facebook account, or you can go to Greg's Speed Shop. You'll see all kinds of pictures with them guys. I got another guy I got to meet out there is Ed Pink. So back in the day, everybody run pink motors or black motors, and I got to meet Ed and his wife Sylvia, and I got to talk to them for a while. And the guy's in his 80s. He might even be in his 90s, and he still builds motors to this day, which I thought was very cool.
So now, Greg, what was it like for you to go down a drag strip for the first time? Instead of street racing.
What was that now?
I said, what was it like for you the first time going down a drag strip instead of doing street racing?
I was very scared to go down the track, and because you just ain't used to, how everything works there. But after I went down at one time, it was cool as hell, and like I said, I'm hook, line, and sinker now. But it was very, very cool.
So what was the first track you went down, Byron?
Yes, Byron was the very first track I went down. Very first track. And I, multiple races at the Grove and Byron and Rock Falls. I actually never, even though KK is really close to me, I never actually raced there yet. I plan on it a couple times this year just to do some testing and tuning before we go to the Grove, because I'm about 2.5 hours from the Grove.
Yeah, I've never been to WIR.
Yeah, it's pretty close to me. I'm only about 45 minutes away from that one, but I just never been over there. I've been there to the races, but I never actually raced on the track.
Yeah. So now for you, what is your favorite? Do you have a favorite track?
I really like Rock Falls a lot, but I feel like I feel like the Grove is kind of home, so I prefer to go to the Grove. But Rock Falls is really turning into a very nice racetrack, and so it's kind of cool to go up there. But I still, right now, I would say it's the Grove.
Now, do you have any crew members or just you?
Just pretty much me and I got one main guy. His name's Bill Peters, and my son Dustin, and then my wife and daughter, and that's it. She's my backup girl, and so we, like I said, we do the whole family deal,
So your wife's your backup girl.
Yes, she's my bug.
Now, your son and daughter, they both like drag racing?
Yes, they both like drag racing. Yes, like I said, the drag racing is definitely what we're used to is the dirt racing. We do still do some dirt racing. My son drives that car. We race a modified, and it's pretty clicky there. So we prefer to go to the drag race.
Now, when you're on the starting line, do you have any pre-race rituals or superstitions when you're out there?
No, not too much. The longer I drag race, the more I know it's games up at the line. So I kind of play a couple little games with guys once in a while. I try to get in their head before we race, and get them to jump or get them to sit there when I take off. But I don't have no rituals that I do. But I like to play a couple little games with them once in a while, just like anybody else.
Now, with the 2 years you've been with the Brew City Gassers, what would you consider to be your fondest memory with them?
Just anytime I get together with these guys, they're a great group of guys. I mean, my life is very busy, so when I get to drag race and I get to meet up with the Brew City Gasser guys, I guess that's my best memory. I mean, it's just anytime I can get with them, it's very cool to me.
So, what's been your fondest race?
I guess it was at the Grove. I think it was the first year of the Brew City Gassers we had down there, and I forget what it was. It might have been that Memorial Day race. All day long, I must have did about 10 passes. I never lost a race, so I guess that was the fondest when you're winning every time, without busting, and the car was running really good that day. And I had about 35 family members that came down to watch us race, and so it was very cool.
Now, what kind of preparation goes into getting that car ready for a weekend?
A lot. Usually, because the full-time deal that I have going on, working on everybody else's cars, our shop is 20,000 square foot facility. So we are a very big speed shop, and I mainly work on everybody else's cars. So, my car gets pushed to the side, and we scramble at the end. But we do we got our rituals that we do go through it. But it's a lot of work to keep winning. But it's more about, for me, it's more about just spending time with people down there than the racing part too much sometimes,
Now, have you ever done the 8th mile racing?
Yes, we did at Byron a couple of years ago when the meltdown. We had a lot of rain, and they wouldn't let us run quarter mile, so we had to do 8th mile. And I thought it was going to be really stupid running 8th mile, and then the next day we could run quarter mile again, and boy, it seemed like a long ways down there after running 8th mile for a whole day, and then you went to quarter mile. It seemed like it took forever to get to the end.
So do you have a preference of either?
I prefer to run the quarter mile, I guess, but it still was okay to run that 8th mile. I was okay with it, but I prefer the quarter mile.
So where do you get your fire safety equipment from, Greg?
I'm a dealer for Motor States, so I get everything through Motor States. But we run Simpson belts and Simpson helmets and fire suit.
Now, what kind of tires are you running on that car?
We're running Goodyears on that. They're 10.5 wide inch tires. We run leaf springs, straight axle. Try to keep it old school as possible. No wheelie bars on the car. We had to actually cut them off. They had the original ones on it. They're welded to the back bumper and went down to the ground. But it upset the car so much we just couldn't have that anymore. The car does need some wheelie bars on it, but right now we're good. But we're gonna have to change that.
Now, what kind of fuel do you run that car on?
We run it on 114. Now we got 14 to 1 compression. Like I said, 434 small block. We're just shy of the 800 horsepower.
All right. Now, in the 7 years or so you've been drag racing, have you reached any milestones?
No, it's pretty much my drag racing stuff is, most of it's heads up stuff. I know that this year it's switching over to a lot more competition stuff. So this year's actually going to be pretty cool because we're changing some stuff with the Brew City Gassers.
Now, throughout your drag racing career, have you had any accidents yet?
Nope, not in the drag racing so far, which is good. I figured I wrecked enough cars at racing circle track.
Well, knock on wood, Greg, you won't have no accidents.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
All right, so I'm going to ask you some fun questions now. If someone were to come up to you, Greg, and give you $800 million and they wanted you to build a brand new drag race track, where would you consider building a brand new drag race track, and what kind of features would you put into that track?
Boy, I'd probably build it right across the street from my shop. And just because I would be close to it. So that would be in Waupaca, Wisconsin. And I guess some of the features would be, mainly the grounds, just up to date, and more like you go to a NASCAR event, how nice they are. I'd probably end up making it really nice that way.
All right, now outside of drag racing, you have any other hobbies, Greg?
Yes, everything is do with racing. So, like I said, the racing that we race the IMCA modified. My son drives it, and then this year we're trying to beat a world record at Bonneville. We're going out there in September. The car that we have right now is about 20 mile an hour off the pace to beat the world record. We plan on bumping our program up. We're putting a 1,200 horsepower motor, and then we're going to have a 300 shot nitrous on it that we're going to try to beat the world record with. And that's going to be in September.
All right. Now, as far as the Brew City Gassers goes, do you have a greatest competitor in that group?
Yeah, I guess the King Rat would be Mark Davis. He's the president of the Brew City Gassers. Me and him are starting a rival. and there's another guy stealing time. His name is Skip. We run with him a lot, and another guy named Neil Brown. He's another guy. So I got like three guys that we kind of go back and forth, you know.
So between you and the president, who's won the most so far?
That'd be me. So, but his car, to give him a little credit, his car, he was having some issues. So I know this year it's going to be very tough to beat him. So, which is going to be fun because the closer the race, the funner it is.
Yeah. So now, have you won any trophies or plaques, anything yet in your drag racing career?
Not in the drag racing, no. My stuff is pretty much just heads up, and we do special events. But I know there's some stuff getting changed this year, so we'll see what happens with all that.
Now, if you were able to time travel and go back in the time, would you do anything differently with drag racing?
Yes, I would have started a long time ago. I would have started a long time ago. Just because you didn't realize it was that much fun, because it's a lot of fun, and and I would have learned more because I'm always learning every time I get out there.
Now, do you get advice from some of the other drivers in that group?
Oh yeah, I listen to them. Guys that are fast, I listen to. You have to. I always like racing fast guys because they make you fast. If you race slow people all the time, that means you're slow too.
Yeah.
So the only way to be the best is beat the best. So that's the way I look at it.
So you got that need for speed, Greg?
Oh yeah, I'm a junkie when it comes to that. I can't. I'm very competitive. And the speed doesn't. I'm game for that. I really would like to run the Joker running 890s, but I'm not quite sure if we can get that done or not.
So now, if you and your family have time to go on a vacation, do you guys have a favorite vacation getaway spot?
Yeah, pretty much. We do a lot of Vegas, and we don't gamble, so it's not for the gambling. We just there's just a lot of things to do there, so the family likes to go there.
All right. So, what is your favorite food to eat?
I say cheeseburgers. That's my favorite. Cheeseburger and fries.
Yeah, you're a pretty easy guy there.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, you can never go wrong with a cheeseburger and fries.
Now, when you're at the track, do you barbecue?
Yeah. My wife puts on a spread for everybody, so we're like the community feed everybody. But that's just what she likes to do,
Yeah.
And that's the part of the drag race and stuff, and family and friends, and we're all on this the earth to get along, so we try to do the best we can.
Yep. So, what's your favorite beverage?
Uh, I haven't drank in 11 years, so it used to be Budweiser, but uh,
How about
now,
non-alcoholic beverage?
now it's I drink a lot of water. I drink Mountain Dew too, but so I drink more soda now. But so I've been pretty good for 11 years.
Yeah, that's all my wife drinks is Mountain Dew.
Yeah, yeah,
Even though the shit's not good for you, we still drink this stuff.
yeah, yeah. It's cheaper than the Budweiser.
All right. So now, what would you consider to be your favorite movie of all time?
Ooh, that would be American Graffiti.
Yeah, that'd be a racing, huh?
Yeah. Well, American Graffiti is, I've been watching that movie. I must have watched it 2,000 times, so I'd have to say that's it.
Now, what's your favorite music, Greg?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I listen to everything. So I listen to a lot of 50s, 60s, but I also like, you know, new music. I like more of a kind of rock guy, hard rock.
Yeah, it's good to be open to music, have a wide selection.
Yeah, I mean, I can literally listen to anything. It don't really, it all depends it all depends what kind of mood you're in that day. I like listening to some Shine Down or something like that. If I'm working in a shop by myself, that's what I like to do. But I also like to listen to a lot of rockabilly stuff, Johnny Cash and stuff like that. Also.
Yeah, but you usually that like hard rock music goes good with the drag racing.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Now, when you were growing up as a kid, Greg, what was your favorite cartoon?
Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Tom and Jerry.
No, no, you can't.
Yeah, they don't make cartoons like they used to.
No, not at all. When you see them now, it's just like, what? What the hell's that?
Yeah, the stuff the kids are watching these days, I don't know.
Yeah.
So on a race day, Greg, when you're at the track, how's your eating habits? Do you eat regularly, or you eat light and wait till races are done?
No, I'm pretty light. I Ever since I started racing, when I raced circle track, race days are. I'm very nervous. Like pulling in into the racetrack, I'm nervous, and I don't know what it is. It's my nerves, and I usually never eat until I'm getting close to being done for the day. After I get through that first pass or so, maybe the first couple of passes, I could probably eat something, but I usually wait until I'm getting closer to the end of the day. And I don't know why, but the nerves are too crazy at that time.
Now, if you weren't drag racing, you'd probably still be doing circle track, right?
Yeah, we probably would be. We're still involved in it because my son races, um, you know, um, but I probably would be. I'm glad I'm not because I just, well, I quit racing. I was racing dirt late model, and just to maintain the last year, it cost over $100,000. So I prefer not to spend that kind of money to get my thrill.
Yeah. Now, can you think of one most embarrassing moment you had on the track?
Drag racing, yes. So we were running some passes. They did like a round robin, and I won like the first three. And I go out and I did three, and I go for the fourth. I go to the fourth one, and I lose. We come in and we lift we lifted the hood up, and the guys were looking at the car or whatever, and everything was good yet. And then they had, after that round robin was over, they opened the track back up. So I pulled back out there. I got up on the line. I dumped the clutch, wheels up in the air, grabbed second gear, and the hood flew up. Somebody forgot to put the pins in. So I'm driving down the track with the hood flying up. So that wasn't, I wasn't too happy with that. And I was embarrassed. So
Wow.
by the time I got back to the trailer, everybody was scrambled and hiding because nobody wanted to take responsibility for that.
Right.
So I'd have to say that would be the most embarrassing moment I had.
Now, do you have a most embarrassing moment in circle track racing?
Uh, the circle track racing. Yeah, I have one. I started. I was running a modified at the time. I started like fifth row outside, and it took me about 5 laps, maybe 4 laps, I took the lead. And so, like I said, started 10th. I got the lead of the race. I put a straightaway and a half on the second place car. And we had about 4 laps to go. And I come in the 3 and 4 and I spun the car out. And I was up against the wall and I'm waiting for the caution to come out. And that's when I realized I was so far ahead of everybody. And they let the whole field go around me, and they never threw the caution. And I had to start, I was dead last. And after that, a caution did come out, and I still ended up getting worked my way all the way back up to 10th place with 3 laps to go. But I came in and I felt like a jackass because, I had the race won if I would have just known they were behind me. I knew they were behind me, but I didn't know they were that far behind me.
Yeah. Oh.
So that one, they actually showed that at the banquet. Because I won a bunch of races, but they had to throw that up on the screen at the banquet. About me spinning out, having a straightaway and a half ahead of everybody.
Now, did you put your head down when you saw that?
Absolutely. Yeah. But what do you do? It's things that it is what it is.
Yeah.
So at the time it sucked, and I was drinking Budweiser back then, so I could deal with it.
All right. So now, as far as the sport of drag racing goes, do you have a bucket list of any things you still would like to do in drag racing?
Yeah, I wanna build a car, and I want to race against the Southeast Gassers. And that's just something that I want to do because in the gasser world right now, that group is the baddest of the baddest, and like I said, if you want to be the fastest car, you got to beat the fastest car. And these guys are, they're running, the 880s, 860s, shifting. They all got 4 speeds in the car. They all have to have more of the original carburetors, not a bunch of fancy stuff, and that's what I want to run with.
All right. Now, in the 7 years you've been drag racing, now what's been your fondest memory?
The fondest memory would be, I think we went over this one before. I won I raced down at the Grove, and I won every race down there. And I had like 35 of my family members there.
Now, how important do you think it is for the kids to come out to the drag races in this day and age?
Oh, 100%. Racing is very good. Any type of racing to teach kids there's more to life than playing video games or being on your phone. But 100% drag racing in family time is number one. Very important to me is building memories because at the end of the day, that's all we have. We all know that life is going too fast already, and so you better take your kids out to get some ice cream or to the drag strip because you never know what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, just get them out of the house.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep, glued to those video games, man.
Yes, they are. And where are you? Where are you from? Are you down for Union Grove, or where are you from?
We live about 30 minutes from the Grove.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm right by on the border of Wisconsin in Illinois, but like 30 minutes. Lake County, Illinois.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, so I just take 45 all the way down there.
All right.
Yeah, the kids are the future, though.
Yeah, yeah. And then, well, you go to Grove, so there is some of these kids, boy, they racing some of these cars, boy, them some bitches are fast, huh?
Oh yeah.
Man, and and the street outlaws really, really helped a lot of the drag racing stuff because drag racing's hot right now.
Now, do you ever watch any of the other? I mean, do you ever get a chance to watch any of the other groups at the Grove when you're up there?
Yeah, once in a while I do. Not too often, though. To be honest with you,
Like the
I do want to go.
Chicago Wise guys and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've seen them a couple times. I've seen them at the Grove, and I've seen them at years ago. I've seen them up at KK WRI there. I definitely like watching them guys. I actually in my shop right now. I have a '72 Duster, which is a funny car that I have in there right now. We got about 3,250 horse in that one that a friend of mine will be pulling out here, hopefully this year, to be running it.
You said funny car?
Yeah. Yep.
Alcohol or nitro?
Alcohol.
Okay. Now
Can
would
go either or. Can go either or with it, but alcohol is what he's gonna run on.
Now would you ever drive a funny car?
Yes. I asked him if I could drive his. He told me to. He told me no. I was like, just let me drive it. Come on, it's only 3,000 horsepower. Come on.
Come on, I got that need for speed. Let me get in the thing.
Yeah. On paper, it should. We're thinking it should run like 660s.
Yeah, there's a lot of good groups that run at the Grove. Though you got the Midwest, the Bruce City Gassers. You got the Wise Guys. You got the Classic American Muscle Association, and you got the Midwest Nostalgia Pro Stock Association. Then the 1320 Legends.
Yep.
Yeah, there's so many groups over there.
I really wish I lived closer to the Grove, but it is what it is. But what I do during the summer on Thursdays because they prep the track. Sometimes I'll leave work at like 2:30, and then I'll drive straight down there, and then I'll race, run a couple, 3, 4, 5 passes, and then I'll come back home.
Yeah.
But it's 2.5 hours down there, 2.5 hours back. And that when I leave down there at 11 o'clock at night, it sucks on the ride home. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, Greg, I want to thank you for taking time to do this interview.
Yeah, no problem.
Do you have any final words?
No, just glad you wanted to talk about the car. And, like I said, if you guys want to know more about me, check out Greg Speed Shop on Facebook or Instagram. We got a lot of cool stuff happening this year with a TV show coming up. And, it's got, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to have a lot to do with that Joker. So it's going to be a cool show.
Awesome. Well, Greg, you have a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yeah, you have a Merry Christmas too, and we'll meet up someday.
I should be up there Memorial Day weekend at the Grove. I'll have to look for you up there.
Yeah, stop on over to the trailer. We'll talk to you then.
All right. You have a good night, Greg.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.